Welcome to Bible Bravery and Bullshit, sorry mom, with Pastor Dan Miner, the unapologetic podcast for those tearing down old beliefs, choosing deconstruction, or those who have walked away from traditional faith. If you're questioning, evolving, or just plain fed up with the modern Christian machine, you're in the right place. Hey, you might laugh, cry, maybe get pissed off, or who knows, get inspired to keep up the good fight. You can follow me or Harvest Church on TikTok, Instagram, or Facebook to get connected. The links are in the description of this podcast. Here we go. Welcome back to Bible Bravery and Bullshit. This is the podcast where we take all the tidy little religious boxes that we all grew up with. We set them on fire. You know, we warm ourselves by that sweet little fire. Today's topic is certainty. You know, the thing that your childhood pastor told you was required for salvation. Every eye closed, every head bowed. The thing that made us question, all the sin and doubts that were labeled as rebellion. The thing that sent half of us to therapy. If you grew up in church where they told you this is right and this is wrong, don't ask any other questions, it's all black and white, then congratulations, you've probably survived a religious pyramid scheme. They used the fear of hell and kind of the way AT&T uses hidden fees to keep you from leaving and switching to Verizon. I was raised around Pentecostal roots. We had labels for everyone. Democrats? Yeah, we labeled them Demoncrats. Christians who drank wine? Well, they were sippin saints. As if Jesus literally didn't turn water into some beautiful Bordeaux at a wedding. Now, I guess we're all sippin saints. Heck, even sometimes on this podcast, I've been known to do a bourbon review or two. But since I am recording this in the middle of the day, I'm going to refrain from doing that. Maybe the next one. But cheers. Here's the thing, though. The whole demand for certainty is completely unbiblical. And I need to say that clearly. The Bible never calls doubt a sin. In fact, Jesus spent most of his ministry walking straight into messy gray areas. He healed the wrong people. He ate with the quote-unquote wrong people. He kept refusing to play this religious black and white, stand on truth game that we see so often. If you take the woman, for instance, that's caught in adultery, the Pharisees say, hey, the law says stone her. It's an open and shut case. And Jesus says, yeah, okay, cool. Whoever's amongst you that doesn't have sin, how about you go first? How about you be the first one to pick up a stone? And the translation is, shut up, drop the rocks, and stop pretending you're perfect. And I just think, man, sometimes I get a little upset. I get it. I'm a little, I get a little angry about some of these things, but that's my feeling towards a lot of the evangelical world. Just, hey, shut up and drop the rocks and stop pretending you're perfect. Let us follow you around for a week and see how perfect you are. We're told that justice and mercy are somehow these opposite ideas, and that we need to pick one, and that we can't be both merciful and uphold justice, because we conflate justice with the law. But justice actually looks like love. Justice looks like grace. Justice looks like saying, hey, I don't know what she's been through, but I know she deserves another chance. I don't know what he's experienced, but I'm sure that if we just judged him by one moment in his life, that wouldn't be fair. Meanwhile, the evangelical church trains us to cling to certainty like a toddler clinging to their little blankie. And that clinging, that's just justified some of the ugliest stuff in history. I've watched parents abandon their kids because they couldn't reconcile their child coming out to them. And they would rather, quote unquote, stand for truth and justice than love their own child. I've seen pastors split churches over this stuff. Families disowning other family members, their own queer children, all in the name of being right, all in the name of black and white. Don't call that holiness. I call it fear dressed up in biblical scriptures. Let's be real. Life is oftentimes gray. It's not just black and white. It's gray. It's messy. It's muddy. It's murky. It's I said in a recent sermon, it kind of fogs up sometimes like a camera lens in Florida humidity when I go outside with my camera. And guess what? That's where God hangs out. And the confusion, the fogginess, the murkiness, the in and in between, and the tension where we're not sure. Certainty is easy. It takes no courage, but curiosity takes the courageous ones to step forward and say, hey, I'm not quite sure about that. If you're going to be certain about anything, make it these two things that Jesus actually commanded us. Love God and love your neighbor. Everything else, the Trinity, heaven, hell, creation theories, all those kind of things, they're all discussions. They're not requirements. If you feel like because of your upbringing, you just have to get some things right versus wrong, get those two things right. Love God and love one another. Love our neighbors, our gay neighbors, our Muslim neighbors, our straight neighbors, our black neighbors, our Asian neighbors, those that are documented, those that are undocumented, everyone that we come in contact with. That is the greatest commandment that Jesus gave us. It's those two things. I don't know if we're doing it. I believe evangelical church has lost its way. I don't think that that's actually what's happening anymore. And yet that seems to just freak people out, because uncertainty means you can't control people anymore, right? Can't scare them into tithing. Can't weaponize scripture like a sledgehammer. And without that, the whole control system collapses. So here's my challenge. Let's stop needing to be right all the time. Just let it go. Let it go for yourself and let it go for those around you. Let's stop measuring faith by certainty, because the minute being right matters more than being loving, you've left Jesus in the dust. The minute being right matters more than being loving, we are no longer resembling the one that we say we serve. And look, this isn't about throwing truth out the window. It's about recognizing that truth without love isn't truth at all. If your truth harms someone, quote unquote truth, it's a lie, period. If your theology leads to cruelty, it's heresy, no matter how many verses you can quote. So here's the gospel. In all its scandalous simplicity, no BS here. The brave gospel is this: love God and love people. Stay curious, stay humble, and for God's sake, stop pretending that we've got it all figured out, because certainty won't save you. Only love will. If you made it this far, thanks for listening. And if you'd like to support our nonprofit, you can go to harvestsarasota.com and click the Give tab. One of the greatest ways you can tell us this podcast helped you is by liking, subscribing, reviewing, and sharing with your friends. Till next time, keep asking questions, be patient with yourself, and find someone to show some love this week.